A police officer who is tone deaf and despises music makes it his mission to apprehend a band of musical criminal masterminds who are overwhelming the city with their chaotic performances. Stick around to the end to see how his story unfolds. Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we will give you a recap of the film Sound of Noise. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie starts off with Amadeus Warnenbrink describing his childhood to us through a bunch of old pictures. Amadeus, a detective, is seen at his office sitting and messing around with a device that seems to be thinking about a problem. With a gentle count of 1 to 4, the screen quickly transitions to Sanna driving a van with great speed while her friend Magnus is playing drums in the back. Police seem to catch her over speeding and chase her on his bike, and the drummer realizes the situation and starts throwing all his stuff, including his drums, on the police officer, after which the policeman crashes off-road and into the bushes. In the next scene, we see the same van crash into a wall, and civilians and a few detectives, including Amadeus, are gathered around it in curiosity. Everyone was afraid of there being a bomb inside the van, but it came out to be just a metronome after inspection by Amadeus. Sanna, being in the crowd, stared and later left the scene. Later, we see Amadeus sitting in his office with his metronome, to which his boss arrives and furiously demands why there is a metronome to be seen by everyone. Now, we see Sanna with Magnus, where Sanna is amazingly surprised when Magnus shows her the music that he created. Sanna, then at the rooftop, tells Magnus that they will show the city how to play music. Sanna and Magnus then talk about recruiting 4 drummers, to where we see one guy playing drums at a place where old people are dancing, another guy at his house using some sort of electricity with his instrument, another guy playing drums at a rave, and the last drummer is seen playing drums at an orchestra where he is seen to be contributing a small role and being unappreciated. Amadeus, then seen at a metronome shop, searches for a specific metronome, encounters Sanna, and engages in a friendly chat. Amadeus is then seen going to a dinner party at his friend's house where he also meets with his brother Oscar. He talks with Oscar, but there seems to be unrest between the two brothers. Later, a little girl is playing piano, and Amadeus, who is unappreciative of music, gets up and leaves. Later, we see Sanna, who is going to her apartment, getting interrupted by her landlord who is asking for the rent that isn't due yet. Sanna goes inside to meet Magnus, where Magnus is annoyed by the 4 drummers they managed to collect. We then get a look at these drummers playing together in madness and draining all their energy out. Sanna then starts to explain her plan, and Magnus further elaborates that they need to collect all the sounds of the drum. Later, we see Sanna at the hospital looking for a human body as a part of her plan, and after a few searches, she finds one. Next, they require a bulldozer, where Sanna is seen at a sauna dealing with a guy to purchase the bulldozer. Sometime later, we see Sanna and her crew at the hospital, ready to test their human subject, cunningly dressed as surgeons, and get a hold of a human subject. Later, they are seen to be performing musical stunts by using the devices connected to monitor the human subject. Later, we see Amadeus sitting for lunch with his co-buddies and got informed about the situation that happened to the victim at the hospital. Amadeus goes to the hospital and tries to investigate the situation where he meets the victim. Amadeus realized after a while that he was unable to hear the sound coming from the victim and also from a small metal plate due to the terrorists playing their instruments on them. He then manages to get a hold of security camera footage and sees the foolish crime committed where the victim was being terrorized by musicians. Amadeus stops the footage and somehow recognizes Sanna. Amadeus then goes to his brother and retrieves the birthday gift back from him for his investigation. Amadeus plans it all out and tells his team that the next attack will be something related to the word honey. In the next scene, Sanna and her team are seen sitting outside a bank in a car. They start their next phase of the plan, where robbers face masks and then enter the bank. Sanna and her team all take their places in the bank and with the use of the equipment start playing music and at the same time destroying money. Amadeus and his team get informed of the situation and arrived at the crime scene. Amadeus, after a small investigation, realized right away that they were the same terrorists as before. He then informs his team members to find a metronome as the terrorists left one in the previous crime as well. Amadeus gets a report from a colleague about Sanna who played in the music academy. Amadeus went to the academy to investigate further. Upon asking the person in charge there about Sanna, he found out that Sanna was a disgrace to the academy and was expelled. Amadeus then asked for all the records on Sanna. He then asked about whom else was expired along with her and was told the name of Frederick Muir. Amadeus decided to go and check on Frederick in order to locate Sanna. Upon asking Frederick about Sanna, Frederick runs away with Amadeus chasing him. While Amadeus was chasing him, he realized that he was also unable to hear a dog barking. Amadeus chased Frederick to an area with lots of containers. After a suspenseful search, Frederick stepped right in front of him and blew 2 air horns right in his face, to which Amadeus bled from his ears. Amadeus disappointingly went to his home and decided to watch a tape handed to him by the Academy on Sana's old performance. Later, Amadeus is seen at a musical event where he is there for anti-terrorist activities. Coincidentally, Amadeus' brother, Oscar, is playing in the orchestra. Amadeus couldn't bear the pain and walked out of the room and to the rooftop of the building. Amadeus then realizes that Sana and her team arrived with a bunch of bulldozers outside. Amadeus quickly gets alerted and runs down to handle the situation. Sana and her team, again with the help of the bulldozers and some other construction equipment, start to play music and destroy the fountain outside the building at the same time. Amadeus arrives now and tries to fight off one of the guys in their team, but still fails to stop them all, since the pain from all the noise was too much to handle. Later, Sana and her team are looking at the television, where the head inspector states to have leads on the terrorists. Then we see the police officers are being told to inspect every musician's house and search them for any drum equipment. Amadeus is then seen in his office, where he goes crazy and destroys the metronome. A few seconds later, the landlord of Sana walks into the office where Amadeus could hear him speaking and realized that he could lead Sana and her team. With the landlord's guidance, Amadeus reaches the apartment of Sana and starts to investigate. He then finds a plan book where he realizes the next possible attack of the music terrorists. Amadeus then went to his brother for help. On the other hand, we see Sana and her team arriving at the city power station, where they shut down the power supply to the city and started to play music while being attached to the cables upside down and stroking the cables with a stick. Amadeus unexpectedly reveals himself from the bottom and disrupts the terrorists. Sana walks down to Amadeus, where Amadeus arrests her and takes her to a music room. Amadeus releases Sana and asks her to play the music note he created. On the other hand, Sana's team decided to play without her. The team started to stroke the cables, where the rhythm of the strokes can be seen in the lights powering on and off at various locations in the city. Sana realized the rhythm, took Amadeus outside, and showed him the beauty that lay within their crime. Amadeus is now finally met with silence. He then kissed Sana and told her to leave before the cops caught her. Amadeus, who is now immune to music, proudly sits at his brother's music performance, where he is seen to be hearing everything except the music itself. Sana, with her group, is seen performing at a beach-themed restaurant. The scene successfully transitions back and forth to Amadeus and Sana, telling us that they both have now achieved what they desired. Sana, with her fulfilled plans of enjoying music to the fullest, and Amadeus, with his complete silence to music. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.